Grand Rising, beautiful peoples. Good morning. Chiefs, dignitaries, elders, two-spirited, brothers, sisters, veterans, Marines, Canadian Forces. I welcome you all this morning. You know, I was asked why I don't acknowledge our veterans, why I don't acknowledge our Marines from down south, our military. I do honor each and every one of you for your services. But if I may share, I come from being raised in that system. I struggle daily being raised on the Canadian Forces bases. I don't struggle with it anymore. I just conflict in my issues. My father was a long time military man. I had a good life. I had a troubled life. I had stepmothers that harmed me. I'm not here to bring down anybody. I just want to let you know that I do acknowledge in my prayer. I'm sorry if I don't call you out as your services or your position. I mean no harm to anyone, and I don't not include anyone. I'm all inclusive. But this is one of my struggles that I live with daily, and that is I don't have a lot of fond memories. You know, this isn't about my father. This is about me. I started drinking at a young age, much younger than most people. I remember watching a serviceman come through the door that I just admired, and he was so strong and army and just cool. And then we would go to the fridge as I was 7 years old, and I would open the door of the fridge on the CFB bases all across Canada, and there would be a Drambuie bottle that would be sitting there, and Father and I would go to the fridge, and we would have a shot. He would have a shot. I would be allowed to cover the hole with my tongue and tilt, and that would send a cinnamony sensation to my tongue as a little boy. But that was the cool bond between my father and I. That's what I thought was what I wanted to be like. My father did many years. I think he's just under 20 years in the military. Just under. That's a hard life. I don't know what it's like. I was only a child in there as being raised. I was not a military man, and I take offense to those that try to say they're something and they're not. And that's just a firm warning. I don't go by any title myself, and I was never in the military. I was a service for first responders, something different. As these years went on, this is my choice as an 8-year-old child. As the years went on, I started going to the fridge, minus my father, and started tilting. And then as age 9 came on, I started to lift that little plunge in my tongue just to get a sip. And then as 10 came on, I tilted. Now there was no tongue in the way, and I would have a tiny, minute shot of spice of Drambuie. After school, I would run to that thing and I would tilt it again. In the morning, after Father left, I would do that the next day. After school. As things went on, the bottle would be smaller when Father got home. And I would be in trouble. In trouble some ways that some won't understand, and I don't care to share because I know some of us have been through some trauma, some abuse. I'm not here to share that. This is my abuse of my alcohol at a very young age. So then I started watering down this bottle at 10. This was the start of my addiction. Please, Creator, allow me to speak better. And ever since that day, I've been going for shots here and there. 12, 13. At 11 years old, I'm fully enrolled in counseling on military bases across Canada for my troublesome, lying child life. I was the issue. I had to go to counseling for my alcoholism, for my abusive relationships towards my father and my stepmother. I went to counseling as a child. The man that I met in Borden was my closest person. He allowed me to speak, which I couldn't. He would take me for walks, and that's how I do my outreach now. This is an influential man for me when I'm 11 years old, as a little drinker, as a little shithead. My apologies for swearing. My apologies, my people. And I've only knocked this 6 years ago. I've only gotten rid of my alcoholism 6 years ago. And now, my brothers, my sisters, my two-spirited, it's hard to confront issues for myself, my own issues, in a sober state. It's difficult. It's very difficult because there's nothing hiding it anymore, and I need to own what I've been. This is not a falter on my father. I'm not trying to push it on him. Again, it's my choice. So it was in me to lose a couple friends to drugs and alcohol, family, to lose them even though they're physically here, but they're not in a spiritual, mindful way because they're clouded by substance. This is why I stand so strong beside you, not above, not below. This is why I put myself in troublesome conditions in the most misunderstood areas, because I trust you, because I trust my people, and I'm not saying ethnicity, those that are misunderstood. I'm not doing anything other than good stuff, I believe. And so I don't care what people say about me. I've been asked to do a day-by-day play out on what I do when I wake up. I've been up since 4:30. I've been asked, would you do a one-day show? Just a recording on what you do when you wake up at 4:30. How I burn my first bowl. How I get up and I have my glass of water. Right from the get-go. I don't lay in bed and wait for the day to get that boost of energy. I don't sit there and contemplate what I'm gonna do. My eyes open. I'm like, well, gosh dang. I've been granted another day on this beautiful land amongst my people. Let me grab this by the hoofs and tackle this day the best of my ability with the most positive of attitudes. And let's make that infectious, not negativity. And then I work on my next thing. I pull out dinner for my family. I put it on the stove so I know it's going to be thawed out around lunchtime so I can start preparing what my family may want to eat. And by family, it can be my whole community. I may pull out pounds and pounds of food to prepare for our community, for your loved ones, for our families, our oyate. And then I wonder, what am I going to do for my own thing today? It's such a beautiful day out. So I start working on my bustles. I may hit my drum and rattle my rattle with my drum. I look at my bundle, and I'm going to share this with you. This is my medicine. I keep claws in here. I have wolverine, coyote, eagle, and bear in there, and wolf. They travel with me because I never know who I'm going to cross paths with. I never know who needs a gift of healing. And I'm not the healer. I don't call myself that. I call myself the healer bee because I love bees. They make the world go round. They keep us healthy. I keep medicine in here that I constantly replenish. I have sweetgrass, tobacco, duta wahopa, which is red willow, the tobacco of the First Nations people. My braid slowly breaks apart. I take the time with my medicine. I don't grind my medicine. I want to have the hands-on of snapping and twisting and breaking my medicine, my sweetgrass, my duta, I keep it in a rawer form, my white buffalo sage, and I crumble and I crack it. There's no right and wrong. I'm not saying that. But what I do is I break and snap and crackle. That's the first part of my smudge. It's peaceful. It reminds me of the harsh habits I've snapped and broken. It reminds me of the generational trauma handed down from me to break those habits, and so I don't treat others the way I've been treated in my life. The crackling of the medicine, the aroma, hits me another way prior to the actual burn. I smudge my regalia every morning before I start work. I take my feathers and I make sure I do my feathers. I make sure I do my regalia. So right from the very beginning, actually, sometimes I break down the eagle. Sometimes I have to break down and process the bear. Sometimes I have to take those things off. I smudge right from the beginning. So I'm allowed to do it holistically and not waste. I told you I was going to share with you all how I get rid of my old materials from my regalia. I'll take you for a walk later. I'll puncture a hole in the water. No, I won't even tell you all this. I'll bring you along. I have a bag of my materials wrapped in material. I will show you what it looks like prior to leaving, and I'll take you on a walk and I'll show you how we gift back what we've used in our regalia. We don't wrap it up, throw it in a plastic bag and chuck it out. That's not our way. We were gifted these materials from Creator, so we gift them back to Creator. In honor of our ancestors, those watching over us, and how we're so thankful for allowing something to carry us as far as we have and continue to carry us. I think I've said enough this morning. I will love for you all to join me later on when I get to my next phase here. I'm rebuilding and adding some feathers to my top bustle. So I'll include you all in that. I love each and every one of you. Kathy, Candace, David. I love all of you. Dylan, Cuz, Big Cuz, Lena, B. What's up, my sister? This has been Duta Wahopa Wachasta. If I miss any one of you, I miss all of you because I love you all. Have a great day. Remember, be positive. Spread that infectious love that we're gifted with. I'll see you on the streets, my beautiful peoples.